Good afternoon. We are here for the funeral of, and I'd like to introduce to you the celebrant who will be giving the funeral this afternoon. Her name is Charlotte Ulett.
There's some flowers in the other room, Kathy.
Okay.
Kathy is one of the family members, and she's going to be passing them out to the group.
Are they on the table here?
Yes, they're purple lilacs.
Oh,
And everybody's going to hold on to one. And then, Kathy's one of the family members, and she's going to be passing it out to the guests. Everyone gets purple lilac. Welcome. Before we begin, I would like to announce that the family invites you to join them for refreshments straight after the ceremony, and it would be appreciated if you would please turn off your cell phones at this time. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Charlotte Ulett, and I am a celebrant. On behalf of the family of Mr. Cornelis Groeneveld and Lapine Funeral Homes, I thank everyone for coming to share the honor, the memory of Opa, as the family knew him in this ceremony today. Holland, beautiful Holland, birthplace of Cornelis Groeneveld in the year of 1921, on the 16th of November near Rotterdam. He was born to Cornelis and Loila, named after his father and one of 5 handsome brothers, Wim, Obey, Dick, and Jacques. Standing Dutch proud and dignified, as you can see in this lovely sepia-colored photograph of the family. The other day at her father's home, Helena revealed to me with a smile on her face and a twinkle in her eyes that her father was mischievous and headstrong ever since he was a lad. The brothers would have to attend the Dutch Reformed Church 3 times a day if they were naughty. Young Cornelis was naughty indeed. At church, he would pull the buttons off his jacket for his offertory plate and use the coins to play pool with his mates. An average student in many ways, except one, Cornelis followed in the tradition of great Dutch masters. He was born a brilliant artist. As an infant, instead of a baby rattle, he must have had a paintbrush in his little fist. In fact, his family told me that out of the 5 sons, he was the only one trusted with his father's treasured working tools, because Cornelis took care and showed much respect for all things in life. Trained as a painter and as a decorator and taking years to qualify, he was highly skilled, deeply passionate, and serious about his work, which is a famous Dutch trait, to be sure. He worked painting private homes and ships in dry dock. The ships would later call to him, and their magnitude and importance would unleash his creative spirit and send him sailing and soaring as a painter. Cornelis was close to his brothers 5, particularly with the youngest and the last surviving brother, Jacques. Sadly, he could not make the journey to be with us today to honor his brother's memory. Jacques and Cornelis shared a very special bond. Both were avid photographers and musicians who found great fulfillment in playing the organ. Their brotherly friendship was an unspoken joy. Cornelis, he met and married his lovely wife, Kobe, in Rotterdam, and the 17th of September 1947, both were married. Both were musical. Cornelis played the organ and had an extraordinary talent to read music vertically without missing a beat, an art in itself. Kobe played the mandolin, but following their marriage, ceased to play. The couple came to Australia, where Cornelis was 26 and their firstborn daughter, Los, was 2 years of age. It was a long and arduous plane trip to finally reach this new country, Australia. They would now call home. Their second daughter, Elena, would arrive a little later. Cornelis continued to work as a painter and decorator in Melbourne. He had a loyal clientele base who appreciated his professional and personal integrity. And as we all know, he was an absolute perfectionist, underlined and underscored. For several years, he and his wife Kobe had their own paint shop on Riverside Road in Camberwell. His extraordinary skill and aptitude for mixing paints was unparalleled. John, his son-in-law, expressed that he had a scientific approach to his craft. He painted not only professionally, but also personally. Copious and magnificent vast canvases at his home studio. Subjects diversified as animals, landscapes, and ships on the water. An impressionist painter, Cornelis conquered the Dutch mastery of light and dark. His paintings were larger than life, illuminating, breathtaking, haunting. Here are poignant words from the epilogue in Shakespeare, The Tempest, and I quote, "Gentle, breath of yours my sails must fill or else my project fails. Spirits to enforce, art to enchant. Cornelis, you have enchanted us with your art in life. You observed on the fringes of life. But in art you were set free, soaring high above mediocrity." His work was exhibited at many art shows, including the prestigious Herald Outdoor Art Show, which is an unusual event here in the beautiful city of Melbourne. The former Prime Minister, Sir Robert Menzies, acquired his work and commissioned commercial design firms populated his nautical motif. Cornelis expressed his creative soul, his inner emotional self through his works. And with that, he leaves behind a legacy of children, and their children's children, with art and music evident in their lineage and their heritage. I would like to share with you now, on a personal note, if I may, that I was deeply moved and felt part of the very special place as his family invited me to really look at their father's artwork on display everywhere, on most every wall in his house. Here was a prolific man who could miraculously paint on huge, huge canvases. As we stepped out into the lovely garden that Loyola created years before, now in full bloom on an early summer's day, strangely, and the bursts of pinks and oranges would pale in comparison to Oprah's expression and celebration of nature. He certainly brought the outside in. Truly fantastic. Thank you for allowing me this honor. And now Oprah's daughter, Los, would like to read these loving words from painter Pablo Nereda as a reminder of her father as she holds his memory in his heart. Los, come right up. In her heart. Okay, right here.
Okay. When I die, I want your hands on my eyes. I want the light and wheat of your beloved hands to pass their freshness over me once more. I want to feel the softness that changed my destiny. I want to live while I wait for you asleep. I want your ears still to hear the wind. I want you to sniff the sea's aroma that we loved together, to continue to walk on the sand we walked on. I want what I love to continue to live, and you whom I love and sang above everything else, to continue to flourish, full-flowered, so that you can reach everything my love directs you to, so that my shadow can travel along in your hair, so that everything can learn the reason for my song.
Thank you. What kind of man was Cornelis? His daughter describes him as complex, private, deeply human, difficult, argumentative, and shy. Some would say, and many thought, he was pompous and arrogant, a man who chose the safety of social isolation. It may have appeared that he was not interested in the rest of humanity, and yet the same man worked hard in a committed way to provide